right, so we're doing some viewer tattoos. I think this is mostly sleeve tattoos today. I think it's just various full sleeves.
So this
by
one
looks
is
of things.
from Marco. It says, "Hey Remy, me again. Here's one more. This was my first tattoo, Norse mythology themed. Let me know what you think and if you'd modify anything."
Oh, the answer to that is almost always going to be yes.
More dark?
It's like, well, I mean, yes, definitely more dark, because what's here is really nice. It's just, it's very hard to see what's here. Like Mr. Wolf there is, I don't know if it's just the light, but he's kind of like, he's fading into his background a bit. Mm-hmm. There are no lime whites, obviously, and that's fine. I like this style of black and gray. This is more like a brick black and gray sleeve, like it's, but not quite. Rick would have a little more contrast, but he likes these, like he likes building out the scene. You know what I mean? Like like everything is like really contextual,
very detailed.
You can see like kind of like the story of what's happening almost.
Yeah,
it's not just images with wind bars. Yeah, he hates that stuff. But anyway, I think it's a common complaint for me, but it is just too tonal. And though they did good negative space, they've got great negative space, but especially up there at the top at the clouds near the top of the castle or whatever the fuck it is, like that's pretty much non-existent up there. Far too light. And I think if they went much darker, it would be a better frame. And yeah, sometimes like you want too much, because like in the bottom of that wrist there on the inner side, that's really hard to see what the fuck that is. Is that a skull with a bird sitting on it under a forest? There's just way too many little things crammed in at the bottom.
Yeah, I find it really hard to read.
Look at the size of the guy up here and the girl on the inner bicep. That's the size, right? And then we lost that at the bottom. It's like it just got carried away in itself. It's like two wolves fighting. I like the idea of two wolves fighting. Just make that bigger. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Whatever's going on the inside there is a bit strange. And I don't really know what you do about that. Like, I actually don't know what that is. Now I'm looking closer. I don't know if that's a bird sitting on a skull. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No, I have no idea. I can't. Stuff.
See, that's
a bird
the
on
thing.
a skull. I think it's a bird on a skull.
It's just,
That's
I
what
shouldn't
I'm
be
seeing.
having to question. It looks like there's another portrait in there too, but that could just be the angle. Oh, that's just the angle.
Your mind automatically wants to make images out of things. So,
wow.
like faces out
Everything
of things.
else is, easy enough to read, but it gets really, really difficult to read what's on the inside there. So I would boost the clarity, maybe get some harder darks and pretty well everything. Mm-hmm. But even though, like I'm saying that's probably only like a 2-hour session. So just because you don't need to pound black everywhere, there's just a little black all over the place would really help this thing stand out. And there are no hard blacks anywhere in this tattoo. The hardest black you've got is in the snout of that wolf. And even then, that's not that black. So I think you went too hard on the gray and not enough on the black.
Right, yeah, I think so too. Not a high enough contrast for me.
No.
So the next one, so it's from Ross. It says, "Hey Remy, I wanted to share my fully healed right sleeve. It's an osprey catching a fish with a frog leaping out of the way."
Fucking frogs, man.
There is one cover-up / blast over at the very top. The artist's name is Seth Wood, and it was done in 10 sessions of about 3 hours each. These pictures are taken about 6 weeks after the final touch-up session, and I also included a short wraparound video. Let me know what you think. I'm enjoying following your impressive tattoo journey. Thanks for sharing. All right. I was not expecting full color.
There you can see the cover up.
Blast over.
Yeah, but it's a cover up.
Yeah.
You can call it whatever the fuck you want. You call it whatever. You can call it a fucking blue apple if you want.
I think
It's a fucking
they like to
cover-up.
call it a blastover when they know it's not properly covered up.
It's a cover-up, though. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like you're supposed to see what's behind it. It looks like they wanted it to go and it didn't. It's very doable, though. Like, if you just pass that again, that'll probably go away. Mm-hmm. Like, it's very doable to make the background go away. You can still see, because that orange did cover to an extent, so if you ran it again, it would probably get rid of it. This looks, again, older than it is. Right? Like, the colors look very dated.
I just think it's like a muted palette.
Yeah, so muted tones don't do good for cover-ups.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go for, like, solid colors.
Yeah, and it's a lot of very earthy tones too, right? Like very, very earthy tones. Like
If
there's
people
nothing
could
really
see
bright.
the brightness of my sleeve after it has a session with Rick, it's like radioactive bright.
Oh yeah.
Right? That's because when it heals, it's not going to be. So when you go in with these muted colors, they end up looking old and faded when they heal.
I like the aesthetic of this
It's
sleeve. I'm not
fine, it's
usually a
just-
big fan of muted tones, but I like it for a nature sleeve.
If you're trying to do a cover-up, where this is very clearly supposed to be a cover-up, go in bold. Because you can cover those. You can cover all that stuff in there very easily. It's been proven by many artists, not just my work, by many artists that do cover-ups. So I think that it doesn't need to be visible. But that said, I do like the overall flow of it. I think that, like, I think that it's all of a decent size. I don't think that it would make sense for the bird to be too much bigger in this composition, strangely enough, because I do see where they probably could have brought the bird, further over. But
I like it. I like where
I
it's
think
at.
to get the curve of the wing to go the way it does with his arm, I think that that's the right size. I dig it. It's cool. Is it his arm? Yeah, it is his arm. For a minute, it looked like his ass cheek. Like he had a really hairy asshole or something. Yeah, I like that we got this other view of the sleeve here.
The background
back.
shot.
Yeah, because I really like this frog.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, the frog is great. But see, I love this background. It's great. You could just do this background everywhere. But, like, I would have done maybe one more foreground guy or something.
Maybe
frog.
like a friend for the frog.
Well, why not, right? Why just do background? He's got 3 images, which is, I think a sleeve is 3 to 4 images. But 2 of them are of a decent size. The frog is very small, which is fair. I don't want the frog huge. But, like, I think you could have fit one more guy in here.
Yeah.
And then you got your sleeve. Overall, it's a really nice sleeve.
I really
think
like it. I don't have anything negative to say other than the fact that I'm bummed about the blast over.
I like it a lot. I would find it hard to wear just because it's very busy.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a lot of pattern going on.
It's pretty patterned.
Yeah, and like I know like when I was very bright red, I found it hard to dress with that sometimes. Yeah. So now I'm not nearly as bright and it works better. But
yeah, you're more of a muted red now. So shall we go to the next
Darker
one?
at the very least.
So this one says, "Hey there. Hope all is well. Recently started watching your channel. I love the different segments and watching your progress while I go through mine. Last weekend we did 21 hours at the Vancouver Tattoo Convention. Would be interested to hear what you think of this work. What could be done to improve it, and what you might like about it. Keep in mind, it's a work in progress, just the first part of the sleeve. The theme is light and dark. The light female face has dark within. The dark male face has light within, representing a number of things. The segments of the face that shift represent a different perspective and how perspectives and ideas change. Thanks very much. Looking forward to maybe hearing from you."
Remember when Buddy said, "I'm sorry for all the waffle"?
Yeah.
That was a lot of waffle.
Yeah, that was some waffle again. I mean, this is a neat looking sleeve. I like the choice of colors. I did not need the waffle. To me, this is just a like a really surreal, like abstract concept.
It's very different.
And we should just leave it at that. It's surrealism. Just leave it, let it be.
Yeah, it's very different.
It can have meaning to you. It doesn't have to have meaning to me.
I think that the doily frame, at the top, I would have preferred if they had kept the gray back behind it.
I like the doilies.
I don't like the open at the top and bottom of it. I wish they had to run the gray consistent the whole way, and I think it probably should have come up just like this.
Yeah.
It should have come up around the shoulder cap. It looks like the sleeve stopped short. You know what I mean? Like
I don't agree with that.
Well, no, it's on the arm. It's not the arm.
I know what you're saying, but I don't agree that I don't think it should have come up more. Although I would want to see it from the front,
especially with the finish of it. This is made for a round space. Like that's a round space that they're doing there. But they didn't cover the whole round space. It's almost like they got it on there and they were like, it's going to be too much work to stencil this fucking thing again. Skin's already raw. They probably put it on more than once and just went, you know what? This is fucking good enough. Just send it. I've seen that happen firsthand before with sleeves and back pieces and stuff. I've seen it where it's like, good enough. So I think that could have been the case here. Not to disrespect the artist, but there was a very clear placement for the top of the sleeve, in my opinion. With that said, the work itself is really cool. Very unique color palette, and you don't see anything like this very often.
Yeah, I really like the color palette a lot.
I would struggle to give this a title, for what style it is. You know what I mean? Like it's not conventional. But I do have some more gripes. I would have probably had her face come up farther too. Like if I was to bring this whole sleeve up and then her face is like this whole outer bicep instead of just being on the outer bicep. It doesn't frame quite the way that it could. So I love the artistic style of this. Just feels like there were some strange choices made around placement of it. Like I think that her whole face going up just a bit would have been a better fit. But this is nothing that I would ever want, but it's definitely really cool, and I'm happy to see it.
I think it's really cool. I like the kind of straight line that I can see going through the whole sleeve.
You don't see much orange, pink, and yellow in tattooing, You see a lot of red, and you see a lot of
and
green.
there's like some really nice gold tones in there too, and I think that the black really works to push all of that forward. I think there's some really, really smart color choices.
I like the gray and black. I think maybe a little more black. I think probably could have pushed everything out a little bit more, but I'm not judging the art of this because it's a very striking piece. The guy does good work. It's just, I think that if I had to give one big critique, it's the placement I don't like, The textures they have in the face and the beard and stuff are really cool. The little eyelashes and things like this. It's a work of art for sure, and you can see the 21 hours. You could tell me it was longer, But I would imagine that with a style like this, the guy's probably doing things like this almost all the time. So he's probably got it figured out.
Super cool tattoo.
Yep.